Hello, friends online. I kind of wanted to share, I guess, the moral of one of my stories in life that has lasted a few decades. And it seems like such a simple and no duh moral to come to, but I didn't really learn it in my heart until recently. And it's that you can be wrong and still be worthy of love and compassion and still deserve to grow, and that you're not, there's not anything intrinsically bad about you for being wrong. So many people in life, myself included, we want to be right because we think that there's some kind of intrinsic failure or moral failing in being wrong. But there's not. That's the first step to getting it right, actually. You have to be. Some people are lucky, I guess, enough to get it right on the first time, but if you look at even just things like reading and math, no human gets it right the first time. That's not how it works. You have to be taught. You have to learn. You have to make mistakes to grow. You have to see how not to do it so you can figure out how to do it in your way. And I think for a really long time, even though I knew this in my head, I was still like subconsciously and maybe even spiritually in a way, like holding on to the concept that if I'm wrong about things, then I'm not worth anything, then I'm not good enough. But that's not true at all. And I just want other people to know that. Because it was a really profound understanding to, like, feel in my heart that it's okay. And I've had these standards, obviously, as a mother, we have these other standards for our children where, of course, there's nothing wrong with them if they make a mistake or they're wrong. But for us, we're so hard on ourselves. When we are wrong, we think there's something wrong with us. But making a mistake doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It just makes you normal. It just makes you a regular human. And I just really, really wanted to share that with people right now. Because I think a lot of us are being really hard on ourselves when we make mistakes and we're like, oh, I'm so stupid. Like, there's just something wrong with me. We make it about our identity of being wrong. But making a wrong choice or a wrong action or saying the wrong thing is not a reflection of in the totality of who you are. It's just a little piece. And even if you're wrong a lot, like, if you come at being wrong with an openness and a willingness to learn, there's nothing bad about that, actually. That's all good. That's all part of the process of life. And so I think getting hung up on being wrong and integrating it into our identities just does so much long-term harm because it doesn't allow us to continue in the process of growth. Because to grow, you have to admit you're wrong and not be fighting it, wishing it were different. You have to really accept it and then say, okay, this is what it is. I have this shortcoming here. Fuck. What do I do now? And that's the next step, is what do I do now? And I was stuck before that step for so long. And there's part of me that feels embarrassed that it took me so long to really understand that for myself, but also I'm not, because I just had to learn in my own way, in my own time. Every point in my life that I've had where I felt bad for being wrong is what contributed to me being able to understand that I was wrong, and that it's a good thing that I'm wrong. It's a good thing I was wrong about that. Because we're all still worthy of compassion and patience and the ability to grow and love and connect with others and accept ourselves and give ourselves validation that it's okay to be exactly who we are. You can think of yourself however you like, for better or for worse. But yeah, I think a lot of us have just been really hard on ourselves for making mistakes, because that's how I've been feeling. And the more I think about, my other friends and family, like, a lot of us are really hard on ourselves when we don't deserve that. We deserve our own patience and forgiveness and compassion. We just have to keep being open to learning how to do it the right way because we didn't know. And once you can get into that, then there's kind of after that a thrill of like not knowing, the wonder, the joy in it, because when there's no shame in it, it's exciting to learn something new. And so I just really hope that I can pass along this way to transform shame over mistakes into humility first, um, re- seeking redemption, and then like if you've made a mistake that hurt someone else or yourself, like finding a way to fix that, and then figuring out how to move forward into making something come from it that will help you, because everything that hurts you in this life, and I know this is going to sound really intense, and maybe not everything, but I really do feel like everything in my life, at least, that I've gone through, and I've gone through some really traumatic things that I obviously no one deserves, but everything I've gone through in my life helped shape me into who I am. And I hated that for a really long time, because I didn't think that I was worthy of love or appreciation or forgiveness because I was just wrong, and that made me a bad person. But that's a silly belief. It's one that was put into my head when I was really young, and then most of my life and my bias reinforced it for years and years and years and years. And so it's going to take, I don't know, maybe another 30 years to learn that's not true, to unlearn it, to learn something new. I'm not sure we can really erase the, the neural whatevers in our brain, but we can create new ones with conscious thought. And the more you take those unconscious thoughts, pull them to consciousness, and transform them, redirect them, change them into something else, and choose to strengthen the other neural pathway, the other one's wither. So I hope everyone can reprogram that in their brain, that just because you make a mistake, just because you're wrong, doesn't mean you, as a being, as a consciousness, are bad. You're just on your way to learning. That's all. There's nothing wrong with that. Congratulations, actually. And I hope that you find it in your heart and soul to forgive yourself. Because I know how hard it is living when you don't forgive yourself, when you're always mad at yourself, when you're always disappointed in yourself. But you deserve your own forgiveness and love. We all do. Even the worst of us. We deserve to be able to sit in humility and say, wow, I made a mistake, and now I get to see how to fix it. I get to have a redemption arc. That's what we all get. And so I hope that you find excitement along the way too. I hope everyone has a good day. Bye.